Today on One Valuable Note, we will talk about relationships with my guest, Lucia Perez. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of One Valuable Note. Here we are with our guest, Lucy Lou, and she wants to show you guys something. She came in with the most dopest shirt today.
Yeah.
Now, what does
It
it
says,
say?
if you can't laugh at yourself.
Let me do it for you. We know she can.
It's all good.
And so today we got a pretty good show. I say it's a pretty good show. We got a lot to talk about. Mostly I guess it's like um things that we go through when it comes to relationships. So we're going to talk about all kinds of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think we can start off with, of course, our relationship with God. It's like it's very important. I'm not perfect by far. And it's like, but just it still feels like something's missing, and it's the relationship with Him. And it's like sometimes people get used to people, and it's like you don't see them, you start missing. It's like, come on, it's like
Mhm.
you could do better, but the one relationship that's gonna last forever ever,
Mhm.
but also how some other relationships, how they just come about, and then you didn't expect them, like with coworkers or with friends from school that turn out to be like family. But yeah.
Yeah, and you're right about that. One thing you said is that a relationship with God, we're so used to the human relationship that
Mhm.
um we don't we kind of like think, oh well, God is this magical being that our relationship will never be able to get to that point. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We'll never be able to be like a human kind of love. We
Mhm.
actually, I think, as humans, we actually fear that we're not allowed to have a relationship with God the way that we see somebody else, the way you
Mhm.
love a human
Yeah.
being, the way that um we have the tendency to forget that God is love.
Mhm.
Where love comes from is from God.
Yes.
So what we feel is him,
Yeah.
that feeling. So we have a tendency to
Yeah.
you know put these relationships with people, and and people let us down all the time. Those relationships are
Mhm.
let down 100% of the time. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So when it comes to God, we have you noticed we have a limit. There's
Yes.
like a line set, like, okay, you know, with God, this is as far as I can go,
Mhm.
and not because you don't want to, it's just that you think that you can't reach that.
Yeah.
But with human beings, we're like, okay, we let it
There's
all
so
go, and
much.
then that's
Yeah.
how we get hurt, and
Yep.
that's how we're in pain, and
Yep.
we want to, like, we're ready to go to another planet. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So you're right about that. You know what I mean? And then we have the other type of relationships with your co-buddies. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, Relationships with your family, relationships, with all that. Everything is different. Everything has a different kind of love. You know what I mean? A
Yes.
different kind of limit.
Mhm.
But the ones obviously that affect us the most is always who we fall in love with.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
So, speaking of relationships, have you ever found yourself in a situation where you knew that it was a relationship that you thought you wanted, but you knew God did not want for you?
Yes.
Because I know I've been there
Yes.
1,000 times.
And it's like, okay, well, you keep thinking like, okay, it's not gonna hurt. It might, it might be something that I want at the, and it's like after the moment, it's like this wasn't what was for me, and
Right.
it's like, and unfortunately, the relationship you have with that other person, they make it look like, dang, she's bogus,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm like, I don't know what to say, it's like, I didn't mean to like give you that type of love, and it's like it just wasn't meant to be. It's like, so that
Right.
relationship has to get cut short. And it's like, even with family members or even some coworkers, like they might be a whole different type of they carry themselves different. They're like, it's like a different type, and you're like, nah,
Hmm.
I'll
Well, at work
speak to
they have
you.
to be different.
Yeah, you're supposed to be
Yeah,
professional, you know what I mean?
exactly.
And it's
So
like
outside
when
of
you
work could be a whole different other
hmm
person. I run into
but
people like that.
not at work, you know what
Right.
I mean? So
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, I don't want to be associated with that, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're supposed to be professionals at the moment. Like,
Yeah.
now, like you said, that's
Yeah.
correct. We're finna go to an event.
Mhm.
Hey, let your hair
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
like they say. But so it's like you try to cut that relationship. Like, okay, you know what, that relationship with my coworker, let me just keep it to this limit while we're at
Mhm.
work. And then we go out later, then
Mhm.
okay, I can let my hair down, you know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I've been in relationships, not just love relationships where I knew that God did not want certain person for me. I
Hmm.
was in plenty relationships that God said I did not want that person for you. And maybe at the moment I didn't understand, but when everything was said and done, it's like I realized why. Now I realize why. After I got married, I realized, oh, okay, I see why, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And you know what? You sometimes you go back and you're like, what did I see in that person? Or how was I blind to accept that? Like,
Lower
was I
your
really in
standards,
that situation?
yeah.
And then you have that one person that just beats everybody up, like, oh my gosh, like what a loser, you know what I mean? I have a person in my life that it was like, wow, I can't believe I was with that loser, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then you have, like I said, you have the relationships with your coworkers, with your families, with your friends,
Hmm.
and there are certain people that I would be, to extreme, because I believe that I'm that kind of friend that I do, I give my all however I can. You know what I mean? Am I perfect? No, but I try my best to always, love my friends and be there for them and stuff. But um, there's just some relationships that have come to an end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe it's because of the many opportunities that you give, of maybe the bad habits that they have
Well,
that
I don't want to cut you short,
um
but it's like how you said that love is like you were blind. You're like, how do you call it? It's like a fugazi. It's not. It's like for the moment, how he makes it look so like, hey, this is the best man you're ever. He's
right.
and you fall for it. So that's
They
why
paint a
you're like,
great picture at the beginning.
we're so hard trying to make things work when it's not meant to happen. So
Yeah.
then when it ends, you're like,
You know what it is
man,
too? It's just
like,
that a lot of times we are so in need of love. And there are times that we are so in need of affection. We just want somebody to say, listen, I need you to be there for me. I need
hmm,
someone right now. And a lot of
yeah,
times there are people that take advantage
yeah,
of your suffering. They take advantage of your situation, and I've had that happen to me, you know what I mean, for years. And I finally came to an end with that and said no more,
hmm,
but there are people out there, you know what I mean, there are people out there that oh, I got allergies. My nose itches. But there are people out there that take advantage of your suffering. They take
hmm,
advantage that you're alone. They take advantage that you've been through some pain. The problem is, as women, we open up too much,
yeah,
and it gives the okay, you know, to the other party
hmm,
to see where's her weakness at.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So at the same time that you're there, you're giving yourself to this person, expressing yourself, that person will share information that will be like, dang, okay, he went through that, man. I know I wouldn't treat my man like that. So it's like he's feeding you enough to be like, okay, you know what, well,
For you
maybe
to fall for it, right?
exactly.
Yeah, and
Instead of just
there's
being genuine and being like, man, girl, that's messed up, man. I'm here for you. I'll listen to you. No, there you go. Like you're trying to get in,
right,
like, no, no, no.
right.
Like,
Yeah. And you know what? You'll notice that the majority of, and let's speak about men right now, but you'll notice the majority of the men that do this, okay, is the only thing they can offer emotional.
hmm,
That's it. Semi emotional.
yeah.
Because everything else is like, All right, well, show me who you really are. And
Yep.
then you open up like, oh,
Yep.
okay. So at the beginning, they're always going to
Mhm.
share, they're always going to show that good part. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So, mm, but I don't know, girl. Like, I know you're still single, you know what I mean, and stuff, and you're still going through the dating scene, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and for fortunate, I was gonna say unfortunately, fortunately, I got out of it, but believe me, I went through it for so many years, and you know that,
Yeah.
and it's hard to find that good man.
Yeah.
You find some candidates that's like, oh, these guys are perfect, and they may make it perfect for a while, but it's just that when it comes to relationships, what I mean, I think that we have to, first of all, you I've always told, my friends, is you have to seek the word of God to know what it is that God wants for you. And then you have to obviously stay in prayer and then identify it when it's in front of you. If there's
Mhm.
something that does not align, if there is a man that does not align with the word of God,
Mhm.
you'll know. You'll know. But
Yep.
us being stubborn, oh, but he's cute. Oh, but he does this.
Mhm.
You better be careful because Satan offered Jesus some bread too.
Yep. Yep. And it's like we forget, at the moment, because you're wanting that, that bond, that relationship. You forget like your heart desire, but your heart desires always come back. Like, man, this is what I want my man. I want to, like when I'm off track, to get me back on track. I know what I want. You know what I mean? But at the moment, you're like, dang, blah 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 in your ear, and then like, and it's like, okay, fine, maybe this, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I think these are like sweet talkers, I call
Mm-hmm.
them, you know what I mean?
Pillow
They,
talkers.
pillow talkers, yeah, because they know exactly what you want. And the
Yeah.
majority of the times, all they can offer is something physical,
Mm-hmm.
then they think that's enough.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
And and a lot of these men, like, they go for that. They go for the women that can fall for the, let's, we're adults here, so for the sexual moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in reality, it's like they think that that's all you need.
Mm.
And then it just becomes that.
Mm-hmm.
It just becomes that. So it's like, it's sad because a woman, was created to nurture, so we want more.
Mm-hmm.
But men don't, they don't get that.
No.
They were created to work, so that's all they think they need to do, you
Yeah.
know. And in some relationships, I mean, some of these men don't really do anything.
Yeah.
They really don't, you know.
And then unfortunately, those will come to an end, and it's like you
They always come to an end fast
you
too.
you cut it off, and it's like, now again, you're the bad guy. Like,
Well, you know
move
what?
on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
Like.
well, you know what? You know why you become the bad guy? Because you allowed him to understand. You know, you allowed him to understand that you needed better,
Mm.
that you wanted better. So they're feeling some sort of way that they can't provide that service for you anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not only that, they know themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they can bring to the
Yep.
table. So that's the thing, is that when you as a woman sometimes decide to say, I'm done with that, and they want to say that you're the bad person, and you're not the bad person,
Mm-hmm.
it's because they finally realize, damn, they caught up to my game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So they're feeling salty with themselves. It's
Yeah.
not like they're feeling salty with you.
Yeah.
I don't know,
It's
girl.
crazy.
We got some stuff going on out here in this world that
Man.
relationships are not what they used to be.
No.
They're not.
Mm-mm.
They're not. And if you girls can get yourself a good man, and he can align with God's word,
Yep.
and he can align with believing in God, like, you best believe. And I'm not talking about just that. I'm not talking about just that. I'm talking about, get you a man that does have a job, that does have a car,
Mm-hmm.
that does have, goals and ambitions, that could lead you,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and build for you. I've heard a lot of women say, and I've gotten to this point where I heard a lot of women say, "Oh, that sounds like a gold digger." It is not a gold digger. Women were not created to be 50-50 on anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, women were created to be in the submission of her man,
Yeah.
not a man, her man.
Yeah.
Okay, the one that was assigned to her by God.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, our bodies were not made for work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this whole generations and this freedom that we've had of, oh, the woman has to do 50-50. If you're alone, that's understandable,
Yeah.
you know. But if you're married, it should be a choice, honestly, you know what I mean. I still work, out of my home, to help out when I
Mm-hmm.
can, so it's a choice that I make. It's something my husband allows, but my husband is the one that supplies
It's a
to every
provider.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
provides for
Mm-hmm.
everything. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to submission. It's not like saying you got to do what he tells you to do. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about submission in the sense of allowing your husband to provide, allowing
Mm-hmm.
your husband to do that, you know what I mean. And but we're living in times where it's like, I've seen men stay at home and the woman going to work and provide. I don't get that.
Yeah. I
I
don't
don't
know
get
if
that.
it's like something, you know, guys always how you seek, like look for women that they feel like, oh, this girl got daddy issues, I could do this, or this girl, whatever they feel like they could get in and get
Hmm.
away and try to like be a narcissist and try to, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
get into that woman's mind and make her feel like, man, I should be going to work while my man's at the crib doing
Hmm.
playing the game or whatever, like come on,
There are men like that. There are men like that
hmm
take advantage of women, and these are predators. These are leeches that are waiting to find that woman. You know what
hmm
I mean? They know, they're like, oh, well, she sat there and told me I'm going to school, I graduated, I have my career, I got a good job, I got my car, I got my
hmm
house, I got my, everything. I got everything together. And what happens is that these men are like, oh,
hmm
really? Okay, well, I just have to find her weakness.
yep.
Oh, my daddy this, or my mom this, or I grew up like this and
Yep.
that. And oh man, you know what? I can identify with you.
hmm
I've been through this and I've been through that. It's been hard, man. And you know what? It's been hard to a point that, I've been looking for a job and it's just haven't happened and this and that. And then what happens? You feel that, oh, poor guy,
Yeah.
he's trying really hard. And it's like, but then you turn around and this motherfucker got like 13 kids, and it's like, yeah, no wonder you've been struggling. You got to pay all the baby mamas. Like, you know,
Oh
a
man.
lot of them is like, I ain't got no job, because if I do get a job, I'll be paying 13 baby mamas and no
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. And it's like we're not trying to like come down like on the fellas or whatever, but women do have things that if they're trying to be a certain type of woman in that relationship, that maybe they don't want to be, excuse me, they don't want to do certain things because they know like, why would I do all that when we're not married, you know what I mean? Like I would want to build an emotional bond with you, I want to see if this grows, but
Hmm.
after a certain point it's like, this is not growing, and it's like, okay,
Right. It's just stagnant. You're right.
and
You're
it's
right.
like it's like we do put our work in and do everything we can for a relationship, even with family, you know what I mean? And it's like the family will be like, yeah, they'll be there for you, but it's like, okay, you know what, I'm busy doing this, or I've got to be gone by this time, or certain things, and it's like, man, like I need that, that relationship to work, so, and
Hmm.
it's like sometimes you're like, man, I don't know, but it's like people have their lives, and it's like, but still, like, life is short, like,
Yeah.
so those relationships, it should be, especially if there's not a lot of us, you know what I mean, it should
Hmm.
be able to like work something out,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
we do all work, but you should always try to make time and keep that bond and relationship with your family.
And that's true. And that's very true. Um, you know what? You're right. You did say right. I don't want to just come down on the fellas, because honestly, there's a lot of bogus ass women that do that to men themselves. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Some women have not made it easy for these men.
No,
So a lot of these men take those actions, you know,
because it's
because
it's
it's
like
something that a woman,
PTSD.
yeah, it's like
It's this.
PTSD for the men, that some
Mhm.
of these women have done them bogus.
Yeah.
So they take some of these actions like, I'm not gonna even gonna try,
Mhm.
you know. But you didn't say both. parties are, you know, are not are not
Like no,
uh
nobody's perfect. You know what I
nobody's, yes, are not
mean?
perfect, yes, because
Yeah,
I know some women, they're like,
yeah,
wow, like you really made that man go through that, like, and then you still sitting there like you deserve the world, like,
yeah.
wow, you know what I mean? But
And
and there
then
are women like that. I know women like that. They're
yeah,
like, do you even care about this man?
yeah.
Like, you sit there like you're queen of the world, and it's like,
So it's like just be single.
why don't you
Just
think
be,
about your, your
don't
man's
treat a
feelings,
person down
or
like that. You
think about
know?
how maybe he's feeling when it
Yeah.
comes to economic situations, when it comes to, probably, his life situations. How
Mm-hmm.
does he feel as a man,
Yep.
for you to be making him feel even more, how can I call it, raw dogging it?
Man.
I don't know.
Like
I
lesser
mean,
of a man, you know what I mean?
right.
Like don't
I hate to
like
use that word. I don't even know what it is, but I mean,
it sound good. It sound good.
no, it don't sound good. But for me, it's like something like you just boom, put it, go
Yeah.
in there and do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But it's just that, look, okay, I think so different, and it took me such a long time to think this way. It took me many mistakes and fall into the
Mm.
wrong relationship. Okay, it took me to fall into the wrong relationship. If you're watching this video and you happen to be one of my exes, I fell into the wrong relationship with you. Okay.
Yeah.
I did. So, I'm not saying you're a bad person.
Yeah.
It just, I was in a wrong time
Yeah.
with you. But
Yep.
I learned something.
Yeah.
I learned something because, it took me so many years to find my husband.
Mm.
And how did I know? Because I didn't know anything economically about him. I don't know anything well, I kind of knew spiritually, but I mean, I didn't know anything like that about him. All
Mm.
I know is that him and I connected on a spiritual level.
Mm.
We talked about God, we talked about angels, we talked about the supernatural. So it took that for him and I to connect.
Mhm.
The fact that he had a job, the fact that he had a car, the fact that he was so dedicated to his job. And I said,
Mhm.
those are some good qualities.
Yeah.
I lost a nail. I'm so mad. But those are some good qualities. And I said, okay. And this is the thing. It's like sometimes we're in so much need. It's what happened to me. We're in so much need of somebody because we're tired of being played with.
Mhm.
So sometimes we're just in so much need. You know what? Sometimes we just gotta stay still, take our time, and let
Mm.
just God do what we gotta
Yep.
do. Let's stop moving time,
Yep.
God don't move in our time. So we gotta stop moving time for him,
Yep.
and whenever we realize, boom, right there.
Yep.
I don't know, Lucy, like I've felt okay in my visual mindset that there's a nice looking tall black man for you, girl.
this
Hmm.
this girl over
Hmm.
here.
Hmm.
But
I
back
don't
to
care if y'all trying to date Lucy, it ain't gonna work out.
oh my gosh. But no, back to like when you know everything that you went through is to make you to help you grow yourself,
Yeah.
because there are people who meet their soulmate. Like they're going through whatever they're going and say, God, if you don't send this woman, you don't send this man, I'm gonna and he's like, all right, like all right, this is the time that I see my child is the weakest.
Mhm.
I gotta do this now, or it's gonna go bad. So he'll send their soulmate, and it's stories like that. But it's like we're like so in a rush to
Mhm.
like do things and have things and like, oh, I can see this with that person, and it's like
Yeah,
you're
you
so in a
you
rush,
you're
like
so in a
hold
rush
up,
that you actually
man.
paint the schematic for your life, and that's not how God
No,
works, because
nope.
He's like, wait, I created you,
Mm-hmm.
I gave you life, so I know the details of your life,
Mm-hmm.
not you,
Yep.
not you. You know
Nope.
what I mean?
That's true. So it's just like sometimes we have to like go through what we go through and makes us the woman we
Mm-hmm.
become. So that way we can tell our nieces, nephews, anybody we meet in the street, we talk about our trials
Mm-hmm.
and give the glory to
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And it's like, but guess what? I'm happily married, boom,
Right.
bam, and then
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
turns on, and it's like,
I mean,
dang, people
we
like maybe
know.
they needed to hear that at that moment. Like, damn,
Right.
I thought I was
Right.
over for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and it's
I
like
mean,
never.
look at the people who've made their own decisions at what they choose.
Mhm.
Ask them if they're happy.
They're gonna be like,
Ask them if they're happy. Ask me if I'm happy.
"Are you happy?"
90% of the time, and 10%,
I gotta take care of my
I'm like,
animals. That's 10% of my life.
I'm twitching and all that. But I mean, yes, I am happy.
Mhm.
Do I feel this is in God's plan? Yes, I am. You know why?
Mhm.
Because I wasn't looking for it.
Mm.
A lot of people don't
Yes.
get this, but a lot of times when you're not looking for it and this person arrives in your life, he doesn't have what you're used to.
Mm.
That's how you know. He does not have what you're used to. He is not the man that you're used to dating.
Mhm.
And you're like, I don't know if I can love this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can love this guy. Like, you know what? I don't know. I'm so used to something different. And I don't know. I honestly think that when you meet the right person, you don't fall in love right away.
Mm-mm.
You have to let God fill that cup up because you need to
Mm.
learn what real love is.
The reason why I think you don't fall in love right away is because you're like, dang, is this real? Like this is like, nah, it's not gonna happen.
Because you're not used to that.
Yeah, so it's like, nah,
Yeah,
and then
because you're
God's like,
not,
hold on, let me soften your heart, let me show
because he
you this.
wants you to learn what
Yeah,
real love is. He don't want you to
yeah.
be falling head over
It's like
heels
I
over the first
run
person
away.
because of what he does.
Nah.
He wants you to slowly learn and say,
Hmm.
this is what falling in love is.
Yeah.
Okay, it's sacrificial. It takes time.
Hmm.
It's patient. Love is kind. Love's everything in the Bible says of
Yeah.
what love is. You gotta trust the process,
Yeah.
man. You gotta trust the
Definitely.
process. It ain't that easy.
No.
It ain't that easy. Now talking about relationships with family.
Hmm.
Ooh, that's a hard one, girl, because I've had a cut off family.
Hmm.
No, not really. I really don't cut off family. But there's just some people that you're around that just have very different personalities. You even in
Yeah.
family situations, you know.
Yep.
And and a lot of people say, well, we're blood, so we are attached as a family. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
No matter what, we have to keep that friendship, that
Yeah.
relationship. And it doesn't always feel that way. There's some people that choose to get away from
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? There's some people that choose to be distant. And I used to think, well, who these people think they are? They think they're better than us. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Um, but then I started seeing it as if it's okay.
Hmm.
We still got our little circle, and they choose to be out of it. They miss out on it
Yeah.
because there's a lot of getting together, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of you know partying, there's a lot of good memories that
Yeah.
we have made, and the people that have excluded themselves are the ones that don't enjoy that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course they're enjoying other things,
Yeah.
and it's fine if they're happy with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't force anybody. You know what I mean? I can go to a certain point
Hmm.
of reaching out, but then once I get tired, it's like, okay, you know what? They've let me know how they feel, so I'm not doing anything wrong by then just stop
Hmm.
because they decided to separate from me,
Hmm.
not like I did it. You know what I mean? So I was just dealing with that, and it's hard for me because I always feel like I have to be the intermediate. Like I
Hmm.
feel like I have to be the person. No, well,
You're the peacemaker.
right, well, think of this and
Yeah.
think of that and maybe this and maybe that. But you know what? um when it's just the reaching out from one side, you know after a while it's like you start feeling some sort of way, like, well, I'm reaching out to you, like the
Yeah.
least you can do is like message me, say hi. I
Yeah.
care, I really do care about you, and because nobody tells me to do that. I do that voluntarily. It's my thing, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I don't know, it's just people are different, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you get in that point in your life, where you're like, man, then, they don't want to be a part of my life. Then they're living their life, you feel like you're not, how you say it, like, not like you're not being recognized, like, so at the point, it's like, I don't, my family is my little sister's family. Okay. I love them because they love me,
Mm-hmm.
but my family, I don't know, I don't know them. But do I be like holding, like I used to be mad, like, damn, y'all know y'all sister came over here, and y'all ain't even check on her kids or whatever. It's like whatever, everybody is doing their thing. That don't
Right.
mean I don't love them. If I see them, I'm gonna still show love,
Yeah.
because they're my family. You know
Right.
what I mean? But it's
Right.
like we do get in that point, and get to that point where we're like, man, forget it. But it's like, but
Why we stuck?
why, why are we stuck?
Oh,
What
hey,
happened?
I have no idea. Hold on. There we go.
Sorry, we were having some technical issues right there. But
And we still having up.
come on, stop playing. I'm trying to talk. You're making me laugh. But still, it's like, you shouldn't always feel like that. It's like, man, okay, they're living their life,
Mm-hmm.
they got their kids. Like, if you see them, you're gonna show love to your nieces and nephews. You're gonna
Right.
show love to your family. So it's like, sometimes we just gotta let that in us go. It's like you're getting, it's like you holding on to that. You don't know if that's making you feel sick. You don't know what it do to you.
Yeah.
It's like you holding it in your heart. Let that go.
Yeah. I think that it all has to do with love. I mean, I really do think that everything has to do with love. Everybody, what they do is because in reach of love. Obviously, unless you have an evil heart and it's all for harm.
Yeah.
But I think in a way, it's all because everybody sees love a whole different way.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different way of showing it. Everybody has a different way of wanting to receive it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people think, well, this way that I'm giving it is the right way, or this way that I'm showing it is the right way, or this way that I'm receiving it is the right way. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I think that there's a lot of complications with that. You know what I mean? I've always gone back and said it is whatever trauma you had from your past or your childhood that makes you to be the person that you are
Yeah,
today. You know what I mean?
definitely.
And that's one of the reasons why I deal with the complicated people,
Mhm.
whether it is in my whatever position they play in my life.
Mhm.
I always deal with the complicated people, and I allow them and give them so many chances and forgive them and keep going and keep going and keep going, just because I always want to think about their trauma.
Mm.
But you know what?
That's
I
theirs.
came 2024 was the year
That's
that
their
God
trauma.
said you're going to break that off of your life,
Mm-hmm.
because 2024 was the year that came, and I said, God said, no more dealing with the traumatic people. It's
Mm-hmm.
their time to heal.
Yeah.
And if you keep, catering to
Giving
them,
them a crutch.
yeah, giving
Yeah.
them a crutch, all you're doing is allowing them to limp with the problem.
Yep.
They're not finding healing themselves. They're
Nope.
not putting their part. And you know what? There's a lot of people that God revealed to me of who's not putting their part in life, who's lived their life and never really repented of what they've done,
Mm-hmm.
the decisions that they made when they were younger,
Mm-hmm.
the positions they had when they were younger. And it's like, okay. And you know what? Taking a step back has let me realize what people are the ones that I need in my life and the ones I don't. And I
Excuse
did
me.
do that.
Mm-hmm.
I reached out to you. I reached out to my other best friends, and I said, you know what? I want you guys in my life. I'm sorry, that I've not been there the way that I should have, but I want you guys in
Mm-hmm.
my life. And then there's some people I said, I'm gonna keep you from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
you strained everything out of me,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's it. I
It's
mean,
like all the love, that you were showing them. It's like they took it and they just like threw it to the floor, and you're like, man, I can't give you what I don't have for you no
yeah,
more.
yeah. There's a veil that
And
opened, and then I realized,
it's like, I mean, I still care about you,
right.
but
But it
ahí
just
se
it just
para.
cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just an
Yeah.
instant thing. It just cut off.
And then just to go back to how people, like about love is that been through something, if they don't seek or, try to seek God and see his love, you won't see a person come into your life that's trying to, like, they're not perfect,
Right.
but they have seen God and seen his love and seen his, all his mercy,
Mm-hmm.
and they're trying to give it to you, and then it's like you're like, oh man, nah, you're trying to do this to make me give you some money or to
Mm-hmm.
take you here to. It's that whole time like, no, I'm just trying to show you the love that, like, I feel like you should be given at this moment,
Right.
and it's like because they don't have never had, or like you don't gotta have it, because once you see God, he's like you'll feel it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it's like a feeling you're like, dang,
You know what it is? I think that people don't want to give love, and well, they don't want to receive the affection kind of love. They don't want to
Mm,
receive the hey, inspiration, motivation kind of love.
mm,
I think that people think that love is how much can you give me?
mm.
Where can you take me? What position do I have? What can you do for me?
Yeah,
And what's sad is that a lot of these people don't give it back.
yeah,
You want something, but you can't give it back.
yep.
But I think that a lot of people think love is where you are at, what position you're in. I let my husband know from the beginning I am not a materialistic person. Everything we have was given to us. Everything we have is a hand me down. There's a few things we bought,
Mm,
but I'm not a materialistic person.
mhm,
What we have is comfort.
mhm.
You know what I mean? He kept showering me with like flowers, with little gifts and this, and
Yeah.
I'm like, stop, you know? I'm like, I appreciate it. I love what you do for me. I was like, but I need you to show me affection,
Yep.
not what you can do for me
Yeah.
materialistically, because I know you can provide it.
Yep.
But that's not love.
Yep.
Love is, can you sit there and actually hear when I'm in
Mhm.
trouble? Can you hear when I'm down? Can you hear when
Mhm.
I'm feeling sad? Can you hear when I'm emotionally stressed out? You know what I
Yep.
mean? That's love.
Yep.
That's love.
Or they could see, like, damn, let me hug my lady.
Right,
She need a hug,
exactly.
or
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
just pray for her real quick. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on, but she don't look like
Yeah.
something is trying to grab my wife. It's like
Right.
if they could notice, it's like that's what you want. Like, and it's like some
Yeah.
people, because they know this is what you want, they give it to you in the beginning, like little pieces, and then it's like,
Right.
boop, okay, and now I got you in, and
Yeah,
oh,
now
I'm
I
sorry, I
got
know
you
you're
in,
telling me to
so
do that.
now it's what could you give back to
Yeah.
me? And it's never emotional.
Mm-mm.
They always want something financial.
Mm-mm.
Girl. I don't know, but woo, we could keep
Yeah.
talking and talking about relationships. But you know what? I mean,
Yeah.
I think we got to the nucleus of the situation
So let's
that
go to our friendship here, okay?
uh-huh. Oh dear.
Like we were, we were in high school, we came out of high school, we came back into each other's lives. When I came back into your life, I got baptized at the church you were going
Mm-hmm.
to. You were in a whole different situation there. Switch, what is it? Situationship there.
Situationship
Her
there.
ex, then, her
Mm-hmm.
ex-husband. It's like we've been through so many different stages in each other's lives, and it's like, I think because we don't like always, like, how you say, like, we always encourage each other, it's like sometimes we don't want to bother each other, but the whole time it's like, man, what do you mean? It don't matter
Right.
what time.
Right.
And I think that's what made us, like, our bond, like, strong. It's like
Yeah.
a sister bond.
And you're right about that. You know what? That I've noticed is that, we'll take each other like out to eat
Mhm.
and we'll encourage each other. These are, I call them encouraging lunches and dinners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we always go and we talk about, we're like, okay,
Yeah.
what's up with your life? And then
Yeah.
here comes Marla, like the counselor, Lucy,
Let
Lucy,
me tell you.
stop. Yeah,
Okay, my your hour is starting right now.
right, exactly. And, but you know what? Getting back to the type of love that we show,
Mhm.
we don't like it has nothing to do financially because we
Mhm.
don't get to that point. I've
Mhm.
invested in some friendships that are financially,
Yeah.
and I don't get no financial and I don't get no no inspiration back either.
Yeah.
But in our case, it's always been a spiritual
Mhm.
relationship.
Yep.
We talk about God. We talk, and there's been a few situations where we talk about real life, of
Mhm.
course, we always
Yep.
do, but it's always goes back to the God
Yep.
situation. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And not only, and you're right, it is more of a sister friendship than anything. And I'm
Mhm.
very happy to know that I will be having a friend in heaven. Lucy. What better than to have Lucy, because she'll be like, bro, why did you pick up that fish from the lake? Jesus said you can't, you know what I
Mm-mm.
mean?
You can't take it
You
home.
can't
Put it
take it
back.
home, that'll be
There.
me telling her, you can't take it home and
No,
put it
I'm gonna
back.
take the little goat home. Be like, look, it's jumping. Look, it's jumping. Look,
I want I
She's just gonna
want.
be like, Lucia, go put it back.
Like,
It's
oh,
mama's looking for
why?
it. Like,
Why?
I was just
But
babysitting it.
but you're right. You know what I mean? We've had this friendship for many years. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we graduated in 99
Yep.
and we were friends in the same academy that we were in.
Yep.
So we did
I
it
got
what?
to meet you in my freshman year. I was in a different one. I was
Uh-huh.
traveling tourism. I think it was what arts and oh my god, you were in the
Performing arts.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
switched to that one, and
Yeah.
that's when I met her in my sophomore year.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, so sophomore year
Yep.
and then we went up to graduation and
Yep.
here we are now. I mean, I'm 43 and it's been a long ride,
Yes.
but
Yep.
I wouldn't change it for the world,
Mm-mm.
because there's only a handful of friends
Yep.
literally that I have,
Me
and
too.
Lucy's been like my ride or die. Like
Mm-hmm.
seriously, like, she's
Yep.
been that one person that's like right there. And we may not like talk every day, but we always pick up,
Yep.
when we leave off.
Straight up.
I have another friend too. It's like we
Yeah.
always pick up where we
Yep.
leave off, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they're all different. I have a few friends and they're all
Yep.
different, you know what I mean? And then I have my other friend, Kristen, Munchie, and she's the gardener, the animal, the plant person,
Man.
and all that. I don't know why every time I think about Munchie, her plants, I think like her house is like a jungle and she's just like walking through with her pets. I can see her husband like
What?
right. But and each of them are different, but I'm thankful, that I have them in my life, because honestly, you guys do keep me on my toes, and prayer.
Mm-hmm.
My God, do they keep me on my toes? They do. They do.
Yep.
Because, when you love your friends, come back to relationships, when
Mm-hmm.
you love your friends for real, when you truly love your friends, you pray for them.
Yep.
You talk to God about them, like
Yep.
Dad, listen, my sister over here, did this or that, or I just want you to, the same blessing you gave to me, I want you to give my friends, and
Yep.
I know that my friends do the same for me. I don't know if they all do, but I know
Mm-hmm.
that, that the prayers go both ways, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And that's how you know who's your real friend. You know what I mean? We've made mistakes, but I don't think we've like ever had a fight, have we? I mean,
No.
I'm sure we probably had a disagreement,
Yeah. But
but
no.
never like get on my face. You know what I mean?
She always
No,
thinks she knows everything.
right? Hey,
Gosh.
bah! Like no, never.
Everything. I'm like,
No,
you know what? You're right. I was wrong.
yeah, like no. I mean,
Like
we've
you
had this.
already been through this.
Yeah, we've had like disagreements, and then we feel so bad after
Yeah.
like a day of like
Like
not
you know
talking.
what?
It's like
You're
I'm
right.
sorry, you
I'm
know what I
sorry.
mean?
I overreacted.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's okay, Lucy. You just ate my chips. You know what I mean?
My last piece of
I
cheesecake.
know my last piece of cheesecake,
Dang.
but
No, it was pecan pie. Okay. Yeah.
but yeah, I don't think we've ever had a fight, and thank God. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I love our friendship. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I love the friendship with the other girls too. You know what I mean? And I think that God's been good to us. You know what I mean? In our lives, He's given us,
I
all
felt like
these
he gave me
years.
another family, because
Yeah,
I didn't have like my
yeah,
immediate family. He's like, don't
yeah.
worry, I got you somebody that's
You're
gonna welcome
right.
you.
You're right.
So it's like you, your sisters,
Yeah,
it's
you're
like they're
right.
welcoming,
You're
and
right.
it's like, damn, this is how
Yeah.
I want my, like
Lucy
to be
just got the
welcomed.
official. I don't know why, but Lucy just got the official come to every party we have
Yes, I did.
invitation from my
Hmm.
family.
I
So
was like, record. What did you say again?
right. Excuse me,
I'm recording. Hold on. What did you
can
say?
you put it on the phone, please? Can I get a
Yes.
document signed legally? We
Affidavit.
get a notarized. But
Yeah.
I don't think any of my other friends have gotten it. Well, I want to say one more friend, but I mean, I don't think that you're probably your first official person that, and my sister loves you. I mean, my sister, I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie. My sister's blunt. She says, I don't like this
Hmm.
person. Not that I don't like them,
Yeah.
and they will never know. It's just that I see a lot of shady
Yep.
stuff in somebody or
Hmm.
in this person or in that person. So, for my
She has
sister
that
to say
discernment.
that,
Hmm.
exactly, and for her to say, you know what, I've always respected Lucy. And I'm like, okay, that's my dog. That's my dog. That's my
Whoop,
dog.
whoop, whoop, whoop.
So I'm in my PJs
Yes.
still. This is my Kim Kardashian PJs.
They're cute.
They are cute. I
Mhm.
tell you, TJ Maxx, they got them in another color,
What? What color?
like a bright pink.
What? Like
We
a
could
hot
wear
pink?
like the same
Oh,
PJs.
what? No.
Yeah, heck yeah, I could come over, stay one day, and then you could wear the hot pink ones, and I'll wear these right here.
Like BFFs forever,
And we
ever,
can do
ever.
like a podcast on the PJs,
Oh
eat food.
man, yep.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
that's the kind of pressure we got.
But anyways, all relationships are good and bad. Some relationships you learn from them,
Hmm.
and some and faster than as soon as they began, and it's just
Hmm.
like you have to keep going, but always remember to have that relationship with God.
Exactly. That one
Um,
comes first. You're
hmm
going to have relationships that break your heart. You're going to have relationships that inspire. You're going to have relationships that work out and don't work out.
Yep.
But the number one relationship that you need to know to have any kind of relationship is the one that you have with God. And I mean, look, I sit there and have full conversations with God like I was having with Lucy right now, but I listen here, Lord. This and this happened, and I feel like it's an injustice, but you know what?
hmm
I am a perfectionist, but I know I'm not a perfectionist in your eye. I want to believe that I am,
hmm
but I know that I'm not. But in a way, I kind of do.
That's good.
That's the kind of relationship I have with God. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? It's like, it's simple.
Yep.
I literally believe that God is my father. I
hmm
literally do. I mean, after all, he did create me.
Yep.
He did build like this whole beautiful machine. You know what
hmm
I mean? And I take by heart what his word says, that if your mother, your father leaves you, God, with everything he has, will lift you up.
hmm
You know what I mean? And, and the situations we've been, the moment my dad decided to go and leave us, that's where God became my father. And
hmm
I took that to the heart. You know what? In a kind of a way, like, I didn't really feel so hard when my dad left until now that I'm older.
hmm
Now that I'm older, I realize the importance of not having my dad there.
hmm
And but at the same time, I was able to grab onto the fact that even so, I can never say that God ever left me alone either. So I'm grateful for that,
Yep.
because I can go back and say, wow, God, you never left me. Even though if I was in this or that situation, you did not allow for me to drop. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, like I said, the most important relationship of it all is God. And if you got trouble with certain relationships, and if you feel some sort of way with certain relationships, and you feel like your friendship in these relationships have ended, or you've been booted out, pray.
Yep.
Pray on it and ask God and say, Lord, what do I need to get fixed in my life?
And then just to piggyback off, how you felt later on in life, what you missed with your dad, in other, like in my situation, my pops was gone when I was little, and then my mom met my stepdad, and he showed me a fatherly love,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I got that love, and I was like, okay. So then it's like when you feel that love, or you have that love, just imagine God, how much he loves you so much
Exactly.
more. Your dad will give you everything you want. Jesus will do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like, man, but then here comes the devil, try to sneak in certain things or situations or people, and they'll
Mm-hmm.
be like, oh, I can give you this, and Jesus like, I can give you so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Like just focus on me. You know
And
what I
that's
mean?
exactly what God
Yep.
did. Your pops is gone, but then he brought you somebody who
Yep.
was going to be a prime example. And you got
Yep.
to enjoy that. You
Yes.
got to enjoy your
Yep.
stepdad. You got to enjoy his good, his bad. You got to
Yes.
listen to him,
Yep. He
not
taught
listen
me
to
so
him.
much.
Yeah,
Yep.
listen to him, not listen. You got the best of that.
Yep.
You got the best of that. You know what
Yes.
I mean?
Yep.
You got the best of, and sometimes, just sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
what is not really ours is what we appreciate most
Mm-hmm.
than what comes out of your own blood.
Yep.
And you got to do that.
Yep.
And you know what? That's just how God works.
Yep.
That's how God works.
That's
When
so
you are
true.
missing something, God said, really, because my word says that I will provide
Yep.
to all of your need
Yes.
according to his riches in
Yes.
glory.
Yes.
So We ain't missing nothing. If you're
Mm-mm.
walking with God and you got that
Yep.
relationship with God, you really are not missing something. Do we
No.
go through storms?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. But
Definitely.
we get to say, you know, it's all right because God got
Yep.
control. Simple
Yep.
as that, man. So build your relationship on God, and
Hmm.
enjoy those beautiful relationships that are out there with your friends, you know, and the people that are surrounded in your life, your partners.
Hmm.
Pay attention, love them the most, forgive them the most, move on, and
One more
allow
thing.
God, yeah, and allow God to do what he does.
Yeah. Check yourself. All right. Check
Yes,
yourself.
check yourself.
Why am I reacting like this? Why am I seeking this? Why am I, why, what is it? You know, check yourself. Why am I being angry? Like, check yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the whole time, it's like you expect something. Of course, like I always expect, like for people to do better, but they don't because they probably don't know. You know what I mean? So at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, it's like, okay, you know what? Check yourself, talk to the person, whatever, but don't just like be angry or assuming things. You know what I mean?
Or
Like,
take a position of you being too proud.
yep,
Too proud,
yep,
because you know what, you're only harming yourself, you're not harming
yes,
nobody else.
mm-hmm,
God bless you guys. Thank you
yes.
for watching our show. Come back next podcast. Hopefully Lucy still has time. Show Lucy, just stand up and show your shirt.
Listen. Oh my gosh.
Come back next
Ay,
time
Dios
and
mío.
watch our
Ay, Dios mío, no se me.
movie
Ay, mi
chair.
pelo. Ay, pues bye. Bye. I tried.
Oh my goodness. We're gonna have Lucy as long as she is on vacation. So hopefully in the future, definitely she would like to be a part of the show. Obviously, she has a lot to talk about. She loves to talk just like me.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Thank you.
God bless you guys.
Yep.
Take
God
care.
bless.
Bye.